Good morning and welcome to the Longboat Energy PLC investor presentation. Throughout this recorded presentation, investors will be in listen-only mode. Questions are encouraged and can be submitted at any time using the Q&A tab situated on the right-hand corner of your screen. Simply type in your questions and press send. The company may not be in a position to answer every question it receives during the meeting itself. However, the company will review all questions submitted today and publish responses where it is appropriate to do so. Before we begin, I would like to submit the following poll. I would now like to hand you over to CEO Helge Hammer. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our investor meet update this morning. I'm joined by Hilde, who will cover some of the Norwegian assets. Before we run through the presentation, you will have seen our press release last week where we announced the award of a deepwater license in the Malaysia bid round. We have secured a potentially extremely valuable option to drill a multi-TCF gas prospect at minimal cost commitment. We're very excited about that. We've entered Malaysia and we've joined a very select group of companies in an industry where we see many opportunities going forward. And hence it increases our opportunity set significantly. But please note that Norway remains Longboat's key focus area. We've drilled 8 wells in Norway in 1.5 years, and we've made discovery, and we are now fully focused on commercialization and monetization of these assets. Just to give you a little overview first. So the Longboat strategy and the overall business objectives remain unchanged. It's to build a full-cycle E&P company and deliver growth and shareholder value. We would like to build a portfolio with production and 2P reserves through value-accretive M&A, and we will drill 3 to 5 wells per year. That's the goal. And Malaysia is really broadening our strategic remit and adding opportunity. So a huge amount of activity ongoing at the moment. We are in a period of a very active M&A, and the highest focus is on the Norwegian M&A monetization projects. We had the process going on late last year, but we had success in the APA round, and when we realized that we had a good chance of winning acreage just next to the Kveikje discovery, we put that process temporarily on hold. But now having won that license, we have recommenced that process. So we have won a prospect just next to Kveikje called Lotus, where we have 30% equity, and Hilde will cover that. So other than the focus on the M&A, we have a high-impact exploration well called Velocet, which is expected to spud in late summer. That's a large gas prospect with gross volumes of 177 million barrels. This is a key well in Norway this year. In terms of finance, we're very happy to have extended the EFF, both with 1 year extra, and we have increased the size to 800 million NOK. It now covers also 2024, which means we are covered for exploration finance facility for the new well Lotus and for the additional wells that we are likely to add in the program. We had 9 million of cash at year end. In terms of the management team, there are no changes, so we will skip this one. And just on the Norwegian portfolio, this shows the location of the assets, and many of you have seen this before. I'd just like to highlight the graph in the corner, which is from the Norwegian Petroleum Directorate, where they have summarized the exploration year 2022, and they show Kveikje and Osvik as the 3rd and the 5th largest discoveries in Norway last year. The Malaysian license, the new license, which we operate, is a huge license. It covers 12,000 square kilometers. It's offshore Sarawak in the deep water. The blocks next to us was awarded to Shell. There's a huge amount of infrastructure in this area. It's an old industry in Malaysia, and Sarawak is as old as the North Sea. Onshore, on the beach in Sarawak, you have the world's biggest LNG terminal in Bintulu, 8 LNG trains. And we are right in the middle of probably the biggest gas market in the world with all the Asian countries around us. I know I'll come back to more details on this and hand over to Hilde now on the Norwegian updates.
Thank you, Helge. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to present two of the best discoveries in Norway this year, and LONGBOAT is the partner in both of them. So I'll start on focusing on the Greater Kveikje area and our Kveikje discovery. That is one of the best on the Norwegian continental shelf last year. It's an injected play in an area where you before haven't really had that as a play that is working. So we've proven up a new play with significant volume potential. It has a range between 35 to 60 million barrels, and this is certified by ERCE. As you can see from the map at the right-hand side, there's multiple discoveries in the area, and Kveikje will be part of an area development going forward, capturing some of these recent discoveries. There's also a lot of ongoing activity in this area with new wells being drilled, and you have significant infrastructure here with Troll and Fram as the main hosts. As Helge already mentioned, monetization process is underway for Kveikje. We believe this is a very valuable asset. And then as part of the APA 2022, because of our in-depth knowledge on Kveikje, we were able to identify an upside opportunity just south of Kveikje. It's called Lotus, and we were successful in acquiring a 30% share in this license together with operator DNO and Aker BP. And as you can see, this has a good volume potential. It ranges from 27 to 44 million barrels with a very high chance of success. And as you can see from the cartoon at the base here, it illustrates these injectites. You can see Kveikje on the left-hand side with the wells going through it, the oil water contact and the gas water contact. And just to the south there, you can see our Lotus prospect, which we will drill most likely next year, which will be a significant add-on to our Kveikje development. Then moving on to our next discovery last year, we discovered gas condensate in our Osvik prospect. This is a high pressure, high temperature discovery, very close to Tune and Oseberg, which are kind of giant producing fields. We conducted a successful sidetrack and production tested this well, and it has very large in-place volumes ranging from 100 to 250 million barrels. And at the moment, this is still kind of a recent discovery, so we're analyzing the results from the well, but the focus is then to kind of focus on technologies to maximize the recovery factor to get out these big volumes that are there. As part of this work, we were also awarded Osvik South as part of the APA 2022. And as you can see from the map in the left-hand corner, this is really one big fault block, and we have drilled the northern part of that and proven a gas down to in that area. But if you continue further south, you'll see that there is something called Osvik South. There's a prospect which is significantly shallower and could have better reservoir quality. So we are very excited to have secured this opportunity, and it also comes with a low commitment, so it will be mature together with the Osvik discovery, and the studies are ongoing there. And as you can see from the kind of cross sections, you have Osvik to the left with the gas down to and the well and the sidetrack. And as you move towards Tune, you see that you have Osvik South coming up shallower, and could be a significant volume addition to Osvik in itself. It has the potential to double the volume of Osvik. So this was the discoveries we made last year. Now we're going to move over to our very exciting well that's coming up in this year. It's called Veluset. It's located in the Norwegian Sea, very close to Aasta Hansteen. It is a license where we're going to drill the Veluset prospect, but as you can see from the map, there's significant follow-on prospectivity in this license. Veluset in itself is a Cretaceous turbidite prospect in the large fault block. It is supported by amplitude and is believed to be a gas prospect. It has very large mean resources of 177 million barrels and a chance of success of 30%. And this is again from a CPR report from ERC conducted last year. The key risk is the reservoir presence and quality. And as you can see from the map, when you have success in Veluset, there's multiple options for follow-on, up until 200 million barrels of follow-on potential. And these will, of course, be significantly de-risked with success in Veluset. And all of this can be tied back to Aasta Hansteen, 45 kilometers away. And Helge will come back to this, but this is a very exciting well that we also get a lot of attention from in Norwegian and international press. I hand over to you, Helge.
Thank you, Hilda. So back to the entry into Malaysia. So we enter there, we are joining a very select group of companies. And interesting aspect of this is that when you compare the North Sea and Norway, particularly to Malaysia, you'll find quite a few similarities, and a lot of similarities with the way Norway and the North Sea was some years back. And the characteristics is that you have a very large and active E&P industry still, with many of the majors still very active. You have a very well-developed infrastructure, both for oil and gas, with terminals and a network of pipelines. You have very supportive authorities, which is very important, and stable framework conditions, which are locked in PLC agreements. We see in this region, as in many places in the world, that the majors are increasingly focusing on the big gas opportunities, and that oil opportunities and smaller gas opportunities are becoming immaterial to these companies, and which then opens up a lot of BD opportunities for small cap E&P. So that's very similar to the North Sea, and particularly the North Sea some years back, which makes us very excited about it. We have no intention to go mad here in any way, but we will look and screen for high quality opportunities. A few interesting differences as well, if you compare to the North Sea, is that the cost environment is much lower, and the short term and a much shorter lead time from making a discovery to bringing developments on stream, which are a huge positives compared to Norway. And another positive is that for us is that the presence of PE-funded E&P companies, which have been very dominant in the North Sea, is much less. So we think that this is a very smart move, and we have significant competence in the company, and we have some strong advisors that we're working with. So far this we think this could add a very significant new leg to the business. Just then specifically on the license we have been awarded. So we are the operator. This license is in the central Laconia province, a very prolific area in the deep water on the outskirts of it. It's a very large block, It has water depth from 100 to 1400 meters. It is already covered with 2D and 3D seismic. It has multiple potential prospects. It has DHIs, direct hydrocarbon indicators, so basically means flat spots. The main prospect, Katang, is a multi-TCF, huge anticline, more than 10 kilometers wide, multi-TCF potential in it. We have a very low work commitment here, 3 years of studies, and then we will have to make a drilling commitment on this well. We have 2 state companies as partners here, Petronas Carigali from the Malaysian company, and Petros, or Petroleum Sarawak, which is a newer Sarawakian state oil company. And then we have our partners, Topaz, who we work closely with here, headed up by James Menzies, who used to be CEO in Salamander, working closely with Nick in that company. So going forward, what do we have to look forward to? We have the Velocet well, which is the only well we have in the program for this year at the moment. We keep our eyes open for another well this year, but I think in the short term, in terms of news flow, is more likely to be M&A related than another well. Then in 2024, we have Lotus, and we have Ulsvik, which is a drill or drop decision towards early next year. And then, you know, if things go very quickly, you could see us drilling in Malaysia already the end of next year. But on the Katang specifically, we do have time. So to summarize, Norway remain our key focus area, and the activity that we are most focused on at the moment is the monetization projects and further M&A in Norway, and then to deliver the Velocet exploration well in Q3. Velocet is actually on the westward, is the only Norwegian well on the westward key wells to watch in 2023, because it is the most significant well in Norway this year. So we add Malaysia because it has a lot of attractions and similar characteristics to Norway, and we have significant expertise and experience in the country, and we are welcomed, and there are lots of opportunities. So it should help us to accelerate our growth as a company. And with that, I thank you for your attention, and we will move to that answer presentation.
Helge, Hilde, thank you very much indeed for your presentation this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue to submit your questions using the Q&A tab situated on the top right corner of your screen. While the company take a few moments to review those questions submitted today, I would like to remind you that a recording of this presentation, along with a copy of the slides and the published Q&A, can be accessed via your investor dashboard. Helge and Hilde, as you can see, we have received a number of questions throughout today's presentation. And if I could just hand over to you to read out the questions and give responses where appropriate to do so, and I'll pick up from you both at the end. Thank you.
Thank you. So I will read some of the questions here and answer, and Hilde will answer some of them. First question: are you able to indicate the rough size in barrels per day of the current production deals you are looking at? That is a difficult question to answer, because the answer is really no, but rough size, we are not looking at huge deals, obviously. So they could be anything from, typically in the 1,000 to 3,000, 4,000 barrels per day would be a sweet spot for deals. Second question: by how much do you expect that Lotus can uplift the valuation of Croatia in the event Kveikje monetization? That's a good question and difficult to answer. We are kind of open-minded with respect to whether Lotus is sold in entirety together with Kveikje, or Lotus could be sold as an element. So what we could do is sell Kveikje and farm down Lotus, for example. So remains to be seen, but the whole area is becoming more and more valuable. And there's also, to mention here, a recent discovery by Equinor called Røver South, which adds further to the volume. So the whole area development around Kveikje is becoming multiple 100 million barrels. So it's becoming a very big project. Next question. Egyptian Vulture has gone very quiet. On discovery, you said an appraisal well might be drilled in spring of 2022, and now it's seemingly a maybe for 2024. Maybe you could answer this one, Hilde.
Yeah, I'll do that, Helge. Yeah, so Egyptian Vulture is potentially a large discovery, and a lot of work has been carried out since we made the discovery in 2021. This is, however, a complex asset, and the companies in the license have different drivers and different technical views. And the partnership is not aligned on the best way forward for this discovery and a potential appraisal well. Efforts are still ongoing to align a partnership ahead of the license expiry date next month, and we will make an announcement as soon as the decision has been made.
Thanks, Hilde. We have another question here. You recently announced an entry into Malaysia, but again, it's exploration and no imminent activity. You mentioned in the previous RNS that you were looking at opportunity throughout the E&P life cycle. Has any progress been made on acquiring production either in Norway or elsewhere? Yeah, I think we can say here that we recognize the Norwegian M&A market has been slow. We have been very active, and we have been active on almost everything. So there are no regrets. It's just fewer deals, and many of the deals sold at higher values than we've been willing to pay. However, I think Norway is still a very attractive region for building an E&P position. And we have by no way given up, but some patience have been required. But at the moment, there's a lot going on actually. So maybe the tide is turning. I don't know, but it looks more promising than it has been for a long time. Following the COVID, and maybe prices are a bit more stable, all helping. So we keep working very hard to delivering these production and development deals in Norway. And I think in Malaysia, I mean, it's an option. It just makes the playing field larger for us, and we're very excited about it. The next question: the share price performance has been absolutely dismal of late. What are management doing to ensure shareholders' value is restored? Can we have assurance there won't be a dilutive equity raise at these levels? Well, we are also very, very unhappy with the share price, to be honest, and we don't believe it reflects anything close to the values we have in the company. I think the monetization project and BD project that we are doing is actually key to financing going forward, demonstrating the value in what we have. So I think that's kind of where we hope to see a significant improvement in share price performance. Next question: the 800 million RBF is in which currency, please? Yeah, that's the exploration finance facility. Sorry if that wasn't provided in the presentation. That's Norwegian kroner. So the exploration finance facility is Norwegian kroner because the tax bill in Norway is in kroner, so it has to be in kroner. So that, roughly is around, I think, the 70 million pounds or something like that. Next question. You keep mentioning your exploration success and these wonderful discoveries, even being named Explorer of the Year, but the share price has dropped. You must realize that shareholders have currently lost significant amount of value. What is going to turn the share price around? Well, I think I have a reply to that question. It's true what is said there, but I think what needs to be recognized is that exploration, from making an exploration, you always hope that it's a very big bang and then immediately value is recognized. Sometimes there is a bit of time taken from a discovery is made till evaluation is recognized and visible. Both the Osvik and the Kveikje have very significant, and energy have very significant potential, and has not been recognized by the market. That's clear in the share price. I think we already answered the monetization project is key to showing that value. Next question. While I recognize LBE as a quality company with quality prospect and with experienced quality people, your track record of shareholder value destruction is too significant for me to ignore. Is the focus of exploration and M&A really the best way to create shareholder value? Won't a strategy of growth funded by production revenue be a more sustainable path? Well, that's good observations, and I think that is. I mean, we have one exploration well on the program this year. We have a couple next year, so I think that we are on that path, and we haven't delivered the production deal yet. I know, but it's clearly the intention is very clearly communicated in the strategy. We plan to be a full cycle M&A. But we also recognize that exploration, a significant exploration, can create very, very substantial values, as we have kind of demonstrated previously in other companies. So I think the way forward for us is to grow production and continue to deliver 1, 2, 3, 4 exploration wells per year of very high quality. But we're not going to compromise on quality. The next question. Do any of the board have previous experience of Malaysia? I don't recall if Faroe had any assets there. Is that correct? Seems to be a significant change in strategy. Okay, so on the board, we have most significant experience is Nick in Russia, who was BD manager in Salamander, and who's worked Malaysia and has a very big network there. Also, we work closely with Topaz, where we have James Menzies and Pierre Elliott, who are very, very experienced. We've been but it's correct that Faroe was not active in Malaysia. I worked in Shell in the area, but that's quite a while back. But I would say we have available very, very good, fantastic resources actually in our partners in Topaz and also with Nick. Okay, I think we'll take another 3 questions and then we'll close off, because it's becoming slightly, some of these are a little bit repetitive. Next question is very impressed with the work content and the upcoming work program. How else do you propose to increase share price, and is BlackRock selling down position? I think the demonstration of value in a monetization is the key to turning the share price around. And that's what we are focused on. Other than that, it's also delivering the first production deals at really good terms, which we're also extremely focused on. So I think we're on the right track. In terms of individual shareholders selling, we couldn't comment on that. Okay, one more question here. Question: where will M&A focus be? Mainly Norway or other regions? So I think that we have a small team, and we really need to remain focused. So the M&A focus is very much Norway, and now also Malaysia. So those are kind of the two regions we're looking in. I mean, we're keeping an eye on the UK and the North Sea region, and we're keeping an eye on the Southeast Asia region, but that's it. And main focus being Norway and Malaysia. Okay, one last question. Any chance to explore more in Southeast Asia, i.e. Vietnam, Indonesia? What is your unique proposition to the regulator then? Well, I think I think we have to take one step at a time. And for us, I think now it is really Norway and Malaysia. Particularly when it comes to exploration. Exploration is really only those two areas. If we do anything else, and if there was a fantastic production opportunity that came along in the North Sea or in Southeast Asia elsewhere, we may look at it, but we really need to remain very focused, which we are. And I think with that, we will end this session. Thank you all for a lot of good questions, and I'm sorry we couldn't answer them all, but that we will aim to do.
Helge, Hilda, thank you for addressing those questions you can for investors. And of course, the company will review all questions submitted today, and we will publish those responses on the Investor Meet Company platform. But Helge, perhaps before redirecting investors to provide you with their feedback, which I know is particularly important to the company, could I please ask you for a few closing comments?
Thank you. Yes, man. I think thank you all for listening to Hilda and I this morning, and you know, we think we are at a turning point. It's this is a very exciting step for the company, and I hope to be able to come up with some announcement later this spring that can cheer us all up and help the share price. Thank you.
Perfect. Helge, Hilda, thank you once again for updating investors today. Could I please ask investors not to close this session, as you will now be automatically redirected to provide your feedback in order that the management team can better understand your views and expectations. This will only take a few moments to complete, and I am sure will be greatly valued by the company. On behalf of the management team of LONGBOAT Energy PLC, we would like to thank you for attending today's presentation. That concludes today's session. Good morning to you all.